Hello, everybody. I'm so excited for today's podcast episode because I just felt like it needed to be talked about. And I wasn't really feeling like filming earlier, but again, we show up anyway. So if you're listening to this right now, thank you for being here. And it means a lot to me that you get value from this. So don't forget to share this podcast with a friend or tag me and share so that way we can spread the word and continue to grow this platform. And I couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you so much. With that being said, today's message that kind of came to me was about why you don't feel right inside and resistance to what is, or resistance to certain things and it's causing you angst, right? So, right now, if you are at a time in your life, or maybe for the past couple of weeks, or you've just been feeling really restricted or angsty, or like maybe you are trying to control things that are out of your control. You're getting frustrated about things that are out of your control, right? Which we all do, right? But like maybe you're really clinging to it, right? I mean, you're letting it ruin your mood. You're letting it dictate your actions. You're letting it make you reactive, whatever it may be, right? Or maybe you find yourself in self-sabotage and, you make a little progress in an area of life and then you backtrack and then it's like this constant back and forth. It's like your body is only used to a certain amount of success and you don't know what to do with more than that, right? And all of this is what we would call resistance. Okay. So that kind of contraction feeling in your chest or in your body, that block, that like tenseness that comes up when someone says a certain word or brings up something, or you have to do, what you need to do to get something done, but you're just not doing it. It's like a block. That is what we would call resistance. Okay. And resistance in psychology refers to any opposition to the therapeutic process. I would even define this as an opposition to love, to good habits, to the truth, to hard work, right? If we are quite literally getting in our own way, we are then making a choice of inaction, right? Or a certain type of action that maybe doesn't align with our highest desires, right? And so when we're doing that, it's because there's this resistance to something that is actually going to be very healing for you and that you need to go through in order to get to the other side. But there's a part of us, that human part of us that is too scared. So we run back to our comfort zone. We run back to what's familiar for us and what feels safe. And we do this all the time. And you really can become a master of yourself when you master and understand this. And that's not to say that we're just going to get to a place in our life where we no longer experience resistance, like new levels and new devils. Hello. But you can get really good at shifting that fearful energy into faithful energy, or turning obstacles into opportunities. That's what I talked about in my last podcast, which I highly recommend listening to. Seems like a lot of you guys really enjoyed that one. So glad it could align. But going back to resistance. Resistance is basically a way of pushing back against suggestions, even those that could help you solve mental or emotional health concerns, right? Sometimes a person tells themselves that they aren't ready. Maybe they say the advice is unfair, or they explain that the therapist, coach, or the person listening to them doesn't understand the whole story, which, yeah, in some cases, yes, right? But in psychoanalyses, this is kind of what was observed, was that whenever there would be a subject that the person needed to face the most, the person would dismiss any topic that came too close to memories or emotions that were too uncomfortable. So like our nervous system literally goes, no, this is uncomfortable, push it down, block it away, project it, mask, And this is our ego's way of really uh creating an illusion of, no, everything's fine. Like, I don't need to do that, right? When really, literally looking at that thing or that trauma or doing that inner work or doing what you need to do is actually the path to healing, right? That's what they say, is the only way out is through. And emotions, guys, are simply energy in motion. Like, everything is comprised of energy, of atoms, molecules, vibrating molecules, right? And cells. Like, we are made up of energy. So emotions are energy in motion, running throughout our body, right? Have you ever tried to, like, you had to cry, or like you felt emotions come up, but then you're like holding it down and you feel like a block in your throat? That's your throat center. That's literally your throat chakra. That is literally that energy in motion, that emotion literally being blocked and swallowed back down. You're suppressing it. You're repressing that energy. And this can show up in other ways, right? Like, maybe you start to eat your feelings, or you drink your feelings, or you fuck your feelings away. You fucking, I don't know, right? Like, whatever you do to numb until it comes back. And that's the thing, guys. Like, the things that we are running from, you may think that because we all do it. I'm going to say you, but we may feel like in the moment that, no, this is too much for me to deal with. And, on to each their own, right? Like, some traumas take a little bit of time until we're ready to kind of face it, and that's okay. But I think there's so much power in getting curious about why things make you feel the way they make you feel. Where that comes from. Was it given to you, or has it always been that belief for you? Right? Where is our brain focusing? You know what I mean? But essentially, guys, resistance is a sign of past trauma or micro trauma hidden in the subconscious mind that needs to be revealed and addressed in the present. This is going to allow you to experience emotional healing and find greater control over your behavior. So what do we mean by all this, right? A lot of the times, and guys, use discernment when I'm talking, because I'm sharing my own perspective, experience, learnings as I grow. So some of the stuff may not resonate with you yet, and that's okay. But being open to kind of hearing different perspectives is going to be what helps you grow, right? And maybe see things differently in a way that can serve you. So anyway, I found, I learned that when we are blocking our destiny from ourselves, when we are resisting good, when we're having a resistance to self-love, or we're having resistance to self-care, or we're having resistance to whatever, right? And this all is umbrella stuff for other things, for like self-care, self-love is also discipline. It's good habits. It's hard work. It's the truth, and the truth hurts. You know what I mean? The truth can suck to hear sometimes. Or maybe what you believe to be true is scary. And what you believe to be true could not even be the truth a lot of the times, but we think it is. So we're running from ourselves, right? As a coach, obviously I've worked with plenty of women, and I remember feeling this way too in the beginning of my fitness journey when I didn't know jack shit. Was like, I'll never get to where I want to be. Like, I'm sure I can lose some fat, but like her body, well, obviously, guys, like, don't compare yourselves, but I'm talking, I would only compare myself to girls who looked like me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I can get there. And it's like, you can, like, you actually can, like, anybody can. It's just that most people aren't willing to do the work that it takes and put in the time and the experience to achieve that long-term result, right? Most people want instant gratification, instant results, instant, right? And our society sets us up for that, right? Like, all the dopamine hits are all over the place. But going back to resistance, guys, like, when we are feeling that way, we're simply resisting what is good for us. Why do we do that? Because a lot of times, guys, We don't feel worthy of what is good for us. We don't feel like it can actually happen for us, or we don't feel good enough to match up for that, or to feel like that we could actually have that reality, whether it's your dream body and a healthy relationship with food, and, maybe healthy relationships that are passionate, and, you have sexual attraction still, right? Like maybe it's a good relationship with money and financial freedom. Like anything that you tell yourself that you can't have really comes down to simply having some form of resistance to love and to all that is love. What do I mean by that? Because I know some of y'all listening are like, the fuck is she talking about? Like, and that's okay. I got you. So resistance to love is basically you are blocking your blessings. You're blocking your blessings. And God, the universe, is going to always bless you anyway. But when it comes to manifesting and creating and designing your life the way you want it, and breaking out of generational curses and, the chains of the matrix and society and what we're programmed to do and how to think, and that requires a lot of self-worth, self-concept, self-love work, and becoming used to the good in life. Because a lot of the times how resistance to love or resistance to what is shows up in our life as I can't have that, or that can't be me. And that being your dominant belief, right? And we're all working on that, right? There's something that will come up for me, like when things are really good, something that will come up for me is like, how long is this going to last? Like how long is it going to last till I this or fall off track, or how long is it going to last until, something happens? And it's like, honestly, guys, like accept. What works for me is accepting. And guys, I'm not yelling at you, by the way. I'm just very passionate speaker. I feel like sometimes it sounds like I'm yelling at you, but I'm speaking from my soul, speaking from my lower chakras. Anyway, when we are resistant to what is, it creates tension. It creates tension. So when we are resistant to doing the inner work that it takes to learn how to find and create a certain sense of self-security and self-trust and self-belief and self-love that is normal to you, it can be really easy to kind of fight against that. I don't know if that made sense. I low-key lost my train of thought mid-sentence. But what I was trying to say is that a lot of the times when we resist these good things in our lives, whatever it is, or our desires, right? It comes down to simply, what is your main belief? Is your main belief that you're good enough and you're worthy and you can have all the things in life that you desire for you and your family, and you can do all the things and there is a way, and that you just have to kind of take action and figure it out? Or is your dominant belief like the opposite of that? Right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like we need to have radical honesty when we're doing this, right? Be very observant where you feel the resistance come up, if you feel it come up. Right? So if you're still wondering, like, what is resistance and what does that feel like? I want to do an exercise with you really quick. And if you're open to it, what I'm going to actually, I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to set it up for you, but I want you to think about a time. Think about a time in your life where you were really scared, or, you were, trigger warning, by the way, guys, like I'm not trying to like bring up your deep traumas, but like let's keep it light here. But like I want you to just think about like a shitty situation. Just think about a shitty situation. I know it doesn't feel good. You don't want to think about that. Like, Lexi, why are you making me think about something I don't want to think? I promise you I'm going to make it all right. um Just think about a time in your life where you just felt very like, you know, stuck or blocked, or it was challenging or whatever, right? A part of your life where it was forcing you to grow. Something in your life that's forcing you to grow. And I want you to tap into and check into how it feels in your body. How does your body feel when you think about that? It may be a little bit more difficult, like if you're driving or not in a very, concentrated environment. But either way, guys, how does your body feel? Did you lose energy? Like, did you feel your energy go down? Did you feel a lot of energy in your stomach or in your gut? Did you feel a lot of energy in your heart or in your chest, like your heart racing or your head? Like, where in your body did you feel that energy come up for you? And if you didn't quote unquote feel anything, you probably just need more time to be present, because your body is responding to those things. It's just you may not be tapped into like actually feeling like what's going on, if that makes sense. So take note of that. Now I want you to think about a moment in your life that felt really happy and joyful and like nothing could go wrong in the world. Find that moment. Think about that time where, you just felt so joyful, inner peace, amazing. How did that feel in your body? Did you feel more grounded? Did you feel expansive, like your chest was opening up, your heart space was opening up? Did you feel uncomfortable? Because that's also something you want to take note of. Did you feel resistant? Okay. The reason I asked you guys to kind of think about these contrasting experiences is because this is the power of tapping into how you're feeling and understanding how you're feeling in your physical body. Right? Because I'm sure when you thought about the uncomfortable experiences or the scary experiences in your life, you felt resistance. You felt your body clench up. You felt maybe your heart racing, or maybe you felt your gut, I don't know, like maybe you felt your throat like blocked with energy. I don't know. Right? Maybe, you didn't have that time to kind of really tap in, but there's no right or wrong way to go about things. Maybe your thoughts started to race, right? Maybe you started to crave ice cream. I don't know. Like literally think about the things that come up for you. And then when I brought up the expansive experience, like what was like a time in your life that you felt the most happy or joyful or whatever, I'm sure for the majority of you guys, you felt the opposite, right? And imagine being able to feel that expansive, peaceful, inner peace, secure, grounded feeling on a daily basis. Like, I'm not saying you're not going to experience challenges and things aren't going to test you, but through practice, through daily practice of slowing your mind down, slowing your body down, bringing your attention to what's going on inside and how you're feeling and taking control of the wheels, right? That you can then access more peace, more joy, more groundedness in your everyday life. I don't care what your personality has been your entire life. I don't care if you've always been impatient. I don't care if you're a hothead. I don't care if you don't know how to communicate. I know that when we are tapping into how we are feeling it in our body and we make the active choice to respond versus react, then we can actually go about life's challenges in a way more enjoyable and productive way. And we can manifest and create the things in our life with God, with the universe, co-create what we desire. and work through the fears that come up for us. Because I'm telling you, right? Like when we let resistance rule our life and we don't learn how to break through that resistance and that level of discomfort, then we usually end up settling. We usually end up settling for the negative friend group or the shitty job that brings you no fulfillment but pays the bills, or we settle for living paycheck to paycheck, or we settle for the relationship that has zero passion. You have no sex drive anymore. You guys are both comfortable as fuck, and like you don't, the only reason you're not breaking up with them is because you guys have been together forever. Like I'm calling some of y'all out here, and I say it all with love. I swear. If the shoe fits, you know what I'm saying. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not though. No, I'm kidding. No, yeah, guys. So when we let resistance rule our lives, we end up settling. And girl, guy, when I tell you settling in life, in my opinion, is, oh my God, it's like living dead. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, living in autopilot, living without purpose, living without passion. Who wants to live like that? And no, I'm not talking about career. Like, I think that's like a, no, because some people find fulfillment in the little things in life and, having their family with them. And I'm not saying career over that, but I am saying that you can elevate your family life. You can also elevate your quality of life overall, but you have to believe and be open and willing to go through what it takes to break through that resistance and be able to hold more in your life and in your heart energetically, to able to hold more blessings in your space and break free from that negative emotional set point that you've grown up with, because that's all you've ever known. And trust me, guys, it is a lot easier to be negative. It is a lot easier to be a skeptic. It is a lot easier to just be whatever. And you know what I mean? Like, trust, like, I know, like, yes. But I think we all have to kind of get to that point in our life where the resistance is no more. We can't take it any longer. So don't beat yourself up if you're not there. You know what I mean? We all have our own journeys, right? But I'm telling you guys, the universe wants to support you. The universe wants to make your dreams come true, whatever it may be, whether that's running your own family business or quitting your job and finding financial freedom, or maybe you're not the business type and like just want to find a job that you actually enjoy and get fulfillment from and can pay the bills and you can have a good work-life balance. And, maybe, your desires is healing your relationship with food and really building your dream body and, changing your mindset around food and your self-image and working on yourself. Maybe it's, just becoming a better mom, wife, husband, partner, daughter, son, whatever. Like, that's what this life is all about. So don't let resistance get you in the way, because I said this all the time, new levels, new devils. Like, I got that. I think it's a quote. You know what I mean? Just so you know, like if you're new here, like I didn't make that up, but it's like one of my favorite quotes is new levels and new devils. So it's like at each new level, guys, like we're going to experience that resistance. We're going to experience that block, that wall again. But when you know the tools to work through those limiting beliefs and those fears and the subconscious things that are going on, you can then shift and choose that reality and allow the universe, God, to work through you, with you, versus you thinking you got it all in the bag. You got this. You could do it. You don't need no help. Okay. So if you're not feeling right inside lately, I want to ask you, what are you resisting? What are you resisting? And if you just said, I don't know, I promise you, all you have to do is tap in, check in with your body, check in with your emotions, check in with What, like, literally, what am I feeling in my body right now? Like, literally, like, not even on some woo woo shit, like, literally putting your hand on your chest, in your gut, and like taking a deep breath. How am I feeling? How are you feeling? What are you resisting? What do you need to release? What do you need to let go of? Let go. Relax. Slow down. Like, it's all going to be okay. Everything is always working out for you, not to you. Everything is always working out for you, not to you. And what I mean by this, guys, is that everything is, life is about duality. Life is about experiencing duality. Life is about not only just experiencing the high highs, life is also about experiencing the lows. Because it's through the lows that we can really learn to appreciate the highs when we have them. And it allows us to differentiate between the beautiful, joyful, amazing experiences and the ones that were so scary and powerful and transformational, but it's why we are, it's made us who we are today. We've all gone through the highs. We've all gone through lows together. Not one person in this life doesn't go through that. Social media will make you believe that, but not one person doesn't have issues and things that they are going through. Not one. Even the most positive of all, like me. I'm a very positive, optimistic, solution-oriented, growth mindset type of person, and I still will have those blocks. I will still have that resistance, but I seek the wisdom that it takes in order to shift, because I refuse to live a life like that. No. I feel like I did that in my past life, and like I feel like I came into this life like, we ain't doing this. We is making our dream life, and I'm gonna tell everybody else how to do it too, through, like, the wisdom that I do seek and find, and that I learned through my intuitive journey and just learning and all the logical stuff too. So if you want to learn more about resistance and how to kind of understand what it is on a deeper level, and you're a little bit more curious about it, and you want to learn more, tools on how to kind of shift that and deal with that, I'll give you some of my main tips, but then I will kind of give you guys some resources to go from here. But some of my main tools when it comes to breaking through resistance is, one, understanding my patterns. Because we all have patterns. Okay. So, like, literally writing down, what is my pattern in this area, right? And through those patterns, you can kind of find like when it is that you start to experience that resistance. So let's just say for your fitness journey, for example, let's say like every 4 to 5 weeks, that's when you tend to like really fall off and you kind of feel a little burnt out and you kind of start to get bored. And that's kind of when that resistance starts to come up. Then what you can then do is go, okay, so this is like my pattern. This is usually when things start to kind of take the left turn. What comes up for me then? Right? Because then you can go, okay, I'm getting bored, or I'm losing sight of my why, or I get tired of this, or I get tired of that. And so then you can go, okay, if this is why I'm feeling resistance, what's the remedy? Right? Like, one, what am I resisting? So in your fitness journey, it may be like, oh, I'm resisting tracking my macros. No. What does that mean? Does that mean it's too much work? So you're resisting the work? Because, like, let's just be real, right? Maybe you are, maybe you're not checking your bank account, right? Like, maybe you do a budget and then after a certain time, you just start impulsively spending and not checking your bank account. That's a pattern. When does that usually start to kick in? When do things start to kind of fall back into that pattern? Oh, it's usually after, I start to save a little bit of money. I find that I start to spend more. Okay, cool. What am I resisting? I'm resisting having more money. I don't know how to keep it. Work through that. So there's so many different other ways to manage resistance. And I could do a whole nother episode on this, but I'm running out of time. So I highly recommend the book, The Mountain Is You, From Self-Sabotage to Self-Mastery. It's an incredible book about overcoming resistance and self-sabotage. And again, guys, if you got value, share this with a friend, leave a comment, and I'd love to hear your feedback. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.